How's it going, Star Wars fans? Welcome to a little bit of an update video for the Obi-Wan Kenobi series. Today, we've got all new looks at the Kenobi series with just a few images. I thought, hey, you know what? I'm really hyped for this series. Thought I'd check out a little bit of an update video. Just in case you haven't heard some recent news, I'm sure you have. But don't forget that Obi-Wan Kenobi is no longer premiering on May 25th, which I think was to celebrate A New Hope's release. It has now been pushed back by 2 days, taking on Stranger Things, with 2 episodes dropping as well. So yeah, do not forget about that. We're going to get 2 episodes on May 27th. But today, with Total Film magazine, we have all new looks at the show. Now, I just thought I would give a little bit of a commentary on this, because even though we get 3 images, we do indeed get a new look at the Grand Inquisitor. And there's been a little bit of conversation, or should I say debate, surrounding his look, and I want to give my thoughts on that, and I would love yours down in the comments below. But let's start with the first image here, and I'm looking at this from Games Radar, but it's floating everywhere around the internet right now. But here, we see Obi-Wan on Tatooine, I believe. You have to think that's a Tatooine background, but the cool thing about this is, I don't think, well, I'm pretty sure we haven't ever seen Obi-Wan in this kind of get-up. In the trailer, we've seen him a bit hooded, we've seen him looking at Luke Skywalker and stuff, but now we see him in a little bit of a poncho get-up. You know, we're still used to even seeing Ben Kenobi in A New Hope in a bit more of his traditional kind of Jedi robe attire, but here we can see that he does indeed wear other things. You know, shocking news here, breaking news, Obi-Wan wears something different, but I don't know. It's just, I guess, refreshing, and obviously he's probably going to be wearing maybe a few different things, considering he is on the run, you could say, from these Sith Inquisitors that are after him, as we see in the trailer. But also, you know, it looks like this could be, I wonder if this is just a routine, you know, going into town to get some supplies, or will it be around the time that the Sith Inquisitors, as seen in the trailer, even get up and close with Uncle Owen? I still don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I do not mind at the same time, but like getting close to the guy who is looking after Darth Vader's son, it makes me think, if yes, the Sith Inquisitors aren't quite proper Sith or Vader himself, but maybe there was sense that there's some kind of signature or something left behind with Uncle Owen. It's just like, hey, do you live with someone who's Force sensitive? I mean, these guys are trained to sniff out Jedi, and granted that Luke isn't a Jedi, he's just a little kid at this point. He is the son of Darth Vader. So I don't know. That's why I'm a bit iffy on it. It just seems a bit too close for comfort, but I wonder if this could be around the time when Obi-Wan goes into town and he has to kind of make a quick escape, whilst the Sith Inquisitors have, you know, wandered around already and terrorizing the locals, as, again, we see quite a bit of in the trailer. But next up, guys, we see, and I really like this planet. I don't know if any of you have played the old Jedi Knight games, but the look of this planet, Daiyu, it really reminds me of Nar Shaddaa. I mean, maybe it's not as cesspooly as what Nar Shaddaa should be, but clearly Obi-Wan has gone to this planet at some point in the series. You have to think, I mean, we don't know all the details yet, but is he doing that to kind of just lead the Sith Inquisitors away from Tatooine? Because, again, for me, almost too close to comfort, the fact that they're even on Tatooine. That's absolutely crazy. So does he deliberately try and be like, hey, I'm going over here, or makes himself have a sighting on this planet? Again, he's clearly blending in. We know from the trailer that it looks like Obi-Wan could very well be in an alleyway with one of the main Inquisitors, Reva, I think. And yeah, that we see him doing some blaster fire in the trailer on this planet as well. So obviously things are going to go a bit sideways here as well. He could very well be looking at the Inquisitors from the distance, terrorizing some people, such as the Grand Inquisitor, which brings me to the Grand Inquisitor. This is like more or less a similar or the same look as what we saw in the trailer, so I have to assume this is that moment where we see his lightsaber just, you know, spin like a lot of Inquisitor blades do. And, you know, I don't want to be that kind of comment where, you know, sometimes images like this come out, and I think I've already seen it, and some people were like, oh, you know, it already looks better here. And it's just like, he's more or less just a slightly different angle from over here now, instead of head on. You know, I don't think he looks awful. I never thought that, but I do think that they could have done a bit of a better job. I don't know, he just, you know, there's lots of comments, and this is where I bring up the debate. I'm probably going to show a fan edit on screen that's been going around Twitter ever since the trailer came out. He does just ultimately look better here, and it does remind me of Revenge of the Sith, where we saw Obi-Wan go to Uptown, I can't freaking pronounce the planets. Different people pronounce it different ways. Do excuse me, Star Wars hardcore fans there. But obviously the really, really tall race with like the really long head. And people already, I've seen it in the Twitter comment section saying, well, that guy, believe it or not, if you look at the guy who played that guy, he has a really long head. But I'm just kind of like, yeah, but I still think they've added a little bit onto him. And I feel like they could have done that here. That's when you'll get a fan say, fair enough, but that's not so practical. But then it's just like, when has practical really ever been an issue in Star Wars? If anything, that's usually something they embrace. And when it comes to the Sith Inquisitor, I don't think they would, even though they kind of did here, I guess, shy away from adding I just feel like they could have added some elevation to him and still allow him to swing a lightsaber. Think of Ki-Adi-Mundi. Granted that we only saw him kind of die when it comes to action in Order 66, but you get what I mean. Maybe if they made the eyes yellow as well, that would have been cool. That's something that Star Wars has somewhat refrained from a little bit, other than the animated series and Anakin in that brief moment in Revenge of the Sith, where his eyes, when he looked around in the hood, I think maybe when he was burning, they went a bit yellow as well, but I don't know. That would be really cool. I'm not looking for animated series type glow or anything like that, but just, I feel like there could be subtle improvements that would have made him look a bit cooler. But clearly this is the guy, the main guy, as we saw in the trailer as well. You know, he was talking about the Jedi. I do love that little monologue he was giving about them. That was pretty awesome. And, you know, instructing the Inquisitors or whatever as they go to hunt Obi-Wan Kenobi down. And, you know, I have all these ideas running through my head about Darth Vader himself sitting in on that meeting, maybe not in person, but giving the Grand Order out, or whether that's just reserved for a scene with the Grand Inquisitor and Darth Vader in a separate room, and then the Grand Inquisitor comes back and then relays all of that to the other Inquisitors. We're going to have to wait and see there. We know that the main foot soldier on the ground will be outside the Grand Inquisitor, Reva. There is a rumor going around that she's supposedly, I've absolutely, please take this with a grain of salt, I don't even know and doubt it's true, but something to do with her being one of the main focuses / main characters, and that doesn't really seem like that should or would be the case. I can imagine that's being, maybe the context is being put onto, oh yeah, but because she's probably the front face of the Inquisitors outside of the Grand Inquisitor, you can see in a certain point of view that the show could, you know, put her up as one of the main leads. I mean, that makes sense to me, but I still feel like this is the Kenobi series, so I'm not too worried about that, but I have seen that rumor going around recently. But other than that, I don't want to judge too harshly. I do think that with the combination of seeing on screen that the Grand Inquisitor is seen in this image, maybe like force choking someone towards him, and added with the score in the background and the red hue of the lightsaber blade on his face, that it should hopefully be pretty easy to forget about the design. Again, it's not that I hate the design, it's just subverted a bit of an expectation in my head that I think he could look a bit more badass, but again, maybe there's some reasons behind that. But again, what do you think? Do you think they could have still somehow found a way to make him look a little bit more narrow in the head, going up a little bit? But so long as they nail the tone, again, the score, like, and I think they're going to heavily do that with Revenge of the Sith mixed with just like dark side theme music, it should land pretty well. But that's all we've got to talk about today, guys, with regards to Kenobi. Do subscribe to the channel for any and all updates, such as, you know, a breakdown on another trailer. We should be getting quite a bit more soon, because we're not massively far away, so, you know, there are going to be bits and pieces just like this coming out more and more, to the point of where I wouldn't be surprised if there's more by the time I upload this video in some way, shape, or form, whether that be new, even more photos and whatnot. So just know that I'll be covering it on the channel for any kind of Star Wars discourse and updates and breakdowns. Of course, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below with regards to anything on these photos, any theories you have for the series. I love to read all of them, but give this video a like if you did enjoy it. You can follow me a little bit more in the links down below in the description, top pin comment as well. You'll find my Twitter link there, Instagram, and my Discord server where you can talk about this with me personally. But thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your day, and may the Force be with you always.